What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today we're going to talk to you about Ethereum Classic. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on what's really been influencing the price and where it might be going from here. Before I get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. And with that said, let's get right to it. So at the time of doing this video, it is up 4.72%. As far as volume, 4.55 million over the last 24 hours. So in comparison to the last several days, it is showing a nice increase, which again does point to big money entering into ETC. And surprisingly, even at a faster rate than Bitcoin, because looking at the comparison over the last 5 days, ETC is up 4.19%, whereas Bitcoin is down 2.58%. So definitely, I think something big might be coming, because in the past, when there has been these deviations, ETC usually has a short squeeze. Even when it came down to Bitcoin's ETF, which was big news for it, ETC surprisingly did outpace Bitcoin. A lot of people seem to not really acknowledge that, but ETC is able to piggyback off of Bitcoin's successes, its failures, and sometimes it's able to outperform it. So I think that's kind of a good thing, and that does really stem from this. So as I pointed out right now, or at least in the past, there's been a huge integration of ETC into day-to-day society, because even right now there's 1,243 merchants accepting ETC as a form of payment. And that chart I just had up right here shows the nice stable growth that ETC has been on. Even though there's a lot of crap coins that are doing fairly well because of people's appetite for risk going up, ETC does have nice stable growth. And speaking on people's appetite for risk, you can kind of see it is at 72, the fear and greed index. So like I said, it's really helping to stabilize the broader market, both equities and crypto. And that could also be extended to Powell, because this past week, Powell did signal that there might be rate cuts sooner rather than later. And based on this, there is a 70% likelihood, potentially of course, that there might be a 25 basis point cut in June. So that in among itself would be amazing for the crypto market and equities. So this is why you have seen some stabilization based on, I guess, the price. And my last video that I did do roughly about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, something like that, I did say that based on the data, it was very clear that big money was leaving ETC, and not just ETC, but the crypto market as well. And that coincidentally, as you can kind of see, caused a downtrend. Right now, it seems to be that big money is entering back in. So I'm going to go over some additional data points that kind of does signal that, because looking right here, you do see that shorts are not entering in. And so I think that's generally a very good thing. Over the last 12 hours, they did minorly, so $166,000. But aside from that, over at least a short term, they haven't. So I think that's really helping for ETC to pick a lot of good momentum and go higher. And just looking at liquidations, because obviously you have to look at what's coming in versus out. Liquidations, you do see more shorts closing out their positions. And unfortunately, you can kind of see a lot of the longs that have been closing out the positions over the last several weeks. Like I said, it did signal that big money was kind of leaving the ETC and just the crypto market. But as of late, longs have stopped closing out their positions, and it looks like shorts is kind of taking their turn at closing theirs. So I think all in all, that's kind of a positive thing. As far as some support and resistance points with it right now at $30.97, it is trading between this pivot and this R1. And in fact, it did briefly break past this R1, so $31.02 is going to be the next strong resistance that you'll want to watch for ETC to get above. And if it is able to get above that, then it'll trade between this R1 and the R2, so 32.93 and then 36.03. So a lot of resistance points above it, but in general, it is gaining a lot of good momentum as of right now. So again, it'll all stem back down onto the technicals. So on the actual chart, I do have the 1-day chart up, 725 and 100-day moving averages, Bollinger Band, stochastic RSI, and momentum. So in my opinion, everything that you do need right now, it is successfully getting over that 7-day moving average, so gaining a lot of good momentum. It was struggling with it for a while, or for the last several trading days, but as of today, it seems to be wanting to break out. Looking at stochastic RSI, you do see a bullish deviation, so the purple line above the teal, and plus it is at 20, so that is considered very oversold. And then as well, looking at the momentum, shows number of retail investors are starting to get back in. in. Well, I guess not necessarily retail, but number of investors getting in. So that's kind of a good thing. As I've pointed out, you always have to look at the 4 hour, the 1 hour, everything feeds into one another. So looking at the 4 hour for right now, this is where you do see a lot of optimism. So it has transitioned from the lower to the higher percentile of the Bollinger Band, above the 7-day moving average and the 25. So all in all, it's looking very good. It might have a small retracement here and there because you do see stochastic RSI relatively high and a bearish deviation starting to form, but beside the point, number of buyers are starting to get back in. And like I said, looking at the 1 hour just to feed into everything, this is still similarly very positive to the 4 hour. So you do see it above the 7-day and also in the higher percentile of the Bollinger Band. And so this is where the 4 hour is going to get a little bit more of a push higher, because you do see a very nice bullish deviation on this chart right here. So I think right now, all in all, the technicals are looking very good. A lot of optimism is in the market, and I feel like right now at the same time, you do see a lot of money rotating out of equities into the crypto market. So once again, I think that could be very good, at least for the short term, and dependent on a lot of the data for this upcoming week, because you do have GDP and also PCE on, I think it's Thursday and Friday. So right now it is just going to be largely due to the technicals, and the technicals on ETC are looking primed and ready. So let me know your thoughts. Have you been buying? Have you been selling? What have you been doing with ETC? So just to give you a quick overview, going back to the 1-day chart right here. So like I said, roughly around that 36.03 is going to be a very strong resistance point. If it can get above that, then this is where it's going to test that $40 range. And even my last video prior to where I was kind of more bearish and I anticipated a downtrend, I said that once it got over that $32 range, it was going to easily get to around the high 30s. And it's very interesting. This is why I love to do ETC videos, because if you look back, you can easily see what I've been predicting. And all I'm doing right now is just reading what the data is kind of saying. I don't have a magic crystal ball or anything, because when it was here, it was pointing to higher highs. And when it was here, it was pointing to lower lows. And actually, my apologies if you can't see it because of my face, but obviously you guys get what I'm saying. So there's a lot of good things coming down the pipeline for ETC, and assuming something larger doesn't happen to disrupt the broader market and people's appetite for risk, ETC will have that retest again at that $40 range. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing I just wanted to share with you, it is associated to stocks, but still it is free stocks, so you might as well sign up for a new account with Moomoo, throw $100 at it, and you get 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000, so take advantage of this. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.